Vayikra el Moshe vaydaber Hashem elav ma'il ma'id leimar. The pasuk begins the third sefer of the Chamish Chumshei Torah and Parshas Vayikra with the word Vayikra. The word Vayikra, in relation to Moshe, appears 3 times. One time it appears when Moshe encountered Hashem the first time in the burning bush, the burning sneh. There it says Vayikra Moshe, Hashem called to Moshe. By Har Sinai it says Vayikra El Moshe, and then he said the Aseres HaDibros. And then here Vayikra El Moshe it says again. The Medrash says that the truth is that every time Hashem spoke to Moshe, he called him first and then he spoke to him, even though it doesn't say it. Besides for those 3 times, it does not say. It usually just says Vayidaber Hashem Moshe, or it doesn't say Vayikra El Moshe Vayidaber Hashem Elav. But the truth is that every time Hashem called Moshe and then he spoke to him. What is the significance of Hashem calling to Moshe and speaking to him, and why specifically those 3 times does it say it in the Torah? Rav Hirsch explains as follows: there is a belief system of a holy person who goes into some sort of ecstasy and he experiences God's message within him, and then he spreads that message to other people, to the masses. That is not the way of Judaism. But even in our perception of nevuah, in our perception of prophecy, we find, for example, the prophet Bilam, who, when Balak told him he wants him to curse the Jewish people, he says, I have to ask Hashem. And he says, I will go to sleep, I will see if Hashem will come to me. I will do what I can to prepare myself, and Hashem will come to me. Kaviyachol, as if to say, says Rav Hirsch, Hashem is like a passive force that comes to Bilam, who prepared himself to accept the nevuah. This is true even in the nevuah of those other than Moshe. In Moshe, it has to be completely different. In Moshe, the Torah says, in Parshas Kisisa, says Rav Hirsch, that Hashem speaks to Moshe like one person speaks to another person. Like a person speaks to another person. What's the symbolism? What does the Torah mean? Like a person speaks to a person. A person, when one person speaks to another, he doesn't have to prepare himself to accept the word of his friend. His friend calls him and says, hey, I want to talk to you, and that's it. The same over here. Kaviyachol, Hashem, when he decides, he calls Moshe and he says, now I'm going to tell you something. And this is Torah. Now I'm telling you another halacha. Now I'm telling you another nevuah. Now I'm telling you something. Now I decided to come to you and tell you, you don't do anything to prepare yourself. You always have to be prepared for me coming to you. Everything comes from me. So there shouldn't be even a 1% doubt that maybe Moshe, part of the Torah, he thought himself. No, everything came from Hashem. When Hashem decided, on his terms, on his time, he called Moshe and he told Moshe what to do. And this appears 3 times, which teaches us that it was always like that. The first time we ever encounter Hashem speaking to Moshe, the Torah reinforces that Moshe didn't do anything to prepare himself for that. Yes, Moshe turned and he noticed, but Hashem decided to call out to Moshe at that moment. By Maimid Har Sinai, when the entire nation was gathered, it was a public revelation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and Hashem wanted in front of the entire nation to show, I am now calling to Moshe, and now I'm going to say the Vayikra, and now Hashem is going to say the Aseres HaDibros. It has nothing to do with Moshe, it's not his own. He's only the shliach of me. I'm HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I'm telling you the Aseres HaDibros. Yes, there is a reference that Hashem said the first 2, and then afterwards it came through Moshe, but it's Hashem calling. It's Hashem's initiative to call Moshe and to tell. And here when we're talking about the Ohel Moed, which was the place where Hashem taught Moshe Rabbeinu the entire Torah, as we know, in that tent of the Ohel Moed, that's where Hashem privately taught Moshe the entire Torah, and then Moshe taught it to Klal Yisrael. Again, it always came with a Vayikra, and that's why our parsha starts with the word Vayikra, to reinforce that the nevuah of Moshe is not like any other nevuah, because we must realize that our belief system is based on the fact that everything came from HaKadosh Baruch Hu directly, on his terms, on his decision, and nothing came from a person himself at all. The entire Torah that we have came through Vayikra, El Moshe, Vayidaber Hashem, Elav. That is the way we have to perceive the Torah. Moshe emes v'sarasa emes, like we know the Bnei Korach said. Moshe is emes and his Torah is emes. It all comes from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Nothing comes from him himself. Good Shabbos. Please don't forget to subscribe. You'll get the video every week by subscribing. Put a like. Thank you very much. Good Shabbos.